Welcome back to our games of Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon. However, we will be doing something different this week. Before we start, I would like to thank RS Experiments, Mike, one of our previous players, for providing the music we use for the intro, as well as the music we use for our breaks and our waiting screens. If you're interested in this stuff, his link is down below. You can go check out his SoundCloud page. Secondly, do check out the links below to go check our Sabbat the Schism book. It's a V5 fan-made edition that allows you to play as elders and Sabbat members. It has a lot of lore in there. It's very, very interesting, and I think you'd enjoy it. So both of those links are in the description. Lastly, we stream this game every week on Sundays on Twitch and here on YouTube. So please, if you enjoyed tonight's session, links below. You can subscribe to both of the channels and you'll get notified when we stream. Do subscribe and comment and all of that. If you are in chat, please speak, because we love to interact with you a lot. And we'll get into this prelude to Season 3 of Beyond Armageddon. As the day ends after a long day at work, you return home, Rhodes. You close the door of your apartment. You drop your mechanics tools in on one of the tables, and you take off your jacket, take off your cap, brush off some of the sweat, and despite having your much more valued side hobbies, this work is something you need to survive, unfortunately. You wish you wouldn't do it every day, but you have to just to keep up with the costs. You hang your coat, and as you walk into the apartment, your phone rings.
I'll check who calls.
It is a number you don't recognize.
Yeah. Why not? I'll pick up. Hey, hello there.
The voice of a woman rings out from the other end. Hello, sir. We have finished your delivery as requested. Please heed the instructions in great detail. And the call turns off.
Okay. Did I had any delivery?
You didn't plan on one. You don't remember ordering anything.
I'll check like if I order, if like somebody used my Amazon account to order, something like that. The hell's going on? check if maybe I missed a message or something.
Your phone is completely clean.
Well, delivery would mean that somebody would ring the door probably. So I'll wait for that like a minute or two.
Mm-hmm.
And like
As you
check
wait,
maybe I missed something.
as you wait, no noise comes through.
I'll call the number again.
You call it, and it immediately, it doesn't go through. As if the phone has been disconnected.
What the heck's going on? I'll go take a gun, like stuff it behind the belt, and like go check outside.
Mm-hmm. You take your handgun. What kind of gun is it?
Either like 1911 or like a revolver.
We'll say a 1911, like a service pistol that you took
Yep.
from your younger days. And as you go check, you said you went to check the front door?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As you open the front door, hand still holding the gun behind your back, you see no one. You look down and you see a box. Cardboard box without a sticker saying where it's from or who it's going to.
It's fucking weird. Well, we'll just take it inside and like look what's in.
You open the box, which is not hard because it's not taped shut, oddly enough. And as you open it, there is a key ring with a set of keys inside and a letter.
I'll open it, yeah.
You open the letter, and it reads, Private, you have been assigned a special mission, a special secret mission, from Owl's Eye. You are to appear at this address and use these keys to get inside. You will receive your briefing later. Signed, Owl's Eye CEO, Kian.
I'll pocket the letter, grab the keys, and like put the jacket on and head out. Gun like still behind the belt.
And as you head out, we will jump to another member of Owl's Eye Security. This time, at a local pharmacy. Tatum, you are closing up shop at the end of the day. You make sure everything within the pharmacy is nice and secure before closing the front gate. As you do, you turn to start heading home as someone bumps into you. And they say, Sorry, mate.
It's alright. Just be careful next time.
Yep.
And I will just pet myself a little bit,
You check if you've been pickpocketed. You check your phone. Yeah, it's still there. Wallet, still there. Keys, still there. Oddly enough, there is a folded sheet of paper there still. One that you don't remember pocketing.
I pull out the paper, turn around to talk to the man that had just bumped into you.
He is gone.
Sir, I think... Well, then, I guess I open the paper.
Mm-hmm. It reads, Mr. Tatum, it has come to our attention that your performance within the Owl's Eye security firm has been exceptional. As a reward, we would like to offer you a special assignment. Pay will be offered before and at the end of the assignment. Please appear at this address. Bring no one. You are free to take your electronics with you, however. Signed, Owl's Eye CEO, Kian.
Do I need the money? That is the main question.
You're not desperate for it, but it wouldn't hurt with the rising cost of living.
I mean, if they came into contact with me, that means they must need my help. So Tatum would go mostly to listen at first.
Mm-hmm. You begin to head towards your car, and as you start the car and begin to drive off, we cut now to a laboratory within the Owl's Eye building. Working there late is Margot, a scientist who is currently in the middle of a test, wearing these goggles and attempting to test them in essentially a very large test chamber with targets moving at the end of it. And as she does, very immersed in her work, she hears a quite startling knocking on the safety glass.
He looks up, annoyed.
It is a woman you do recognize, the secretary that usually waits at the front desk of Owl's Eye. And she looks to you with a smile.
Yes, what is it?
She walks towards the door, enters the test chamber, and says, Mr. Kian has requested to speak to you. Would you be
Okay.
available in the next hour or two?
Yeah, sure. I'll be available now.
Okay.
Let's get this over with so I can return to my business.
You should fetch your jacket. Mr. Kian will be meeting you at one of his local establishments.
Oh, I see. Fine. Margot goes to the lab to grab her jacket and then locks up the lab and goes to find the secretary so that the secretary can tell her where exactly to go to.
Mm-hmm. As you approach the secretary, she takes a sheet of paper, writes down the address, hands it to you, and says, "Oh, and before I forget, Mr. Kian insisted you would be given this," and she hands you a card, essentially a magnetic card, but it's basically all white except for the magnetic strip.
Okay. Okay, I guess Mr. Kane is gonna tell me what this is.
I would assume so. I was not qualified to give you that information.
I see.
Have a nice evening.
Very well. You too.
And as you turn to leave, you get in your vehicle and you drive off. We cut to Rose as he arrives at the address. Shortly after, a car parks nearby, and Tatum walks out.
Do I know him?
Probably not.
All right. Even there.
Good evening, sir. Are you here also on business?
You can say that.
I see. Any idea of who it is they called us?
Well, if you're here, I reckon you know who.
Well, yes and no. Difficult to say.
But I don't know who called us here for. Not like who called us here, like I know that, but for the reason of, I have no recognition of that. But alas, I have the keys. Might as well.
Yeah.
I'll go
Well,
to
guess.
open the door.
You approach the building. It seems like an old shop, like an old pawn shop. You take the keys. You open up the security gate, swing it open, and then you use the keys to open the glass door. And just as you do, another car parks nearby, and out walks Margot.
I probably also don't know, right?
You might have seen her around because she spends most of her time in Alzai. And you do visit it quite a lot. Unlike Tatum, who is mostly a member who does side jobs.
Well, we can
Do
do
I
it.
recognize him?
Probably not.
Okay. Well, Margot looks around. Spots the two of them. Do they look like they're going into the same place she would be going?
They look like, well, you've seen Rhodes open the gate, yeah?
Okay. Well, she doesn't know if they're here to meet Kian. Does she now?
Not really, no.
So she's gonna wait till they go in.
Hey, look.
Yep. As
I'll
you...
just check if like there's a alarm. There's an alarm.
Okay. Please roll, let's say, perception and... For this, I'd say larceny. You know enough to recognize an alarm.
Yeah.
Given your past.
Yeah. Well.
Not you don't see any outer signs of an alarm.
Mm-hmm. Well, if the cop's gonna come over, at least I have the keys. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll go inside.
Yeah. You walk inside, and as you walk through the glass doors, you are faced with the inside of the pawn shop, which essentially consists of two long rows of glass displays with a bunch of items in them. Two wall displays also behind a glass door. All of them with odd knickknacks, valuables that someone might come into the shop to get, but none of them looking particularly expensive. There's a counter with a net sheet in front of it. And behind the counter, you see a wall display with the most expensive items. And just in the corner behind the counter is a door with what looks like a magnetic lock.
Martin, seems to me we are not getting anywhere farther.
After they're in, Margot is gonna like approach, look at the door, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like how it opens, and like figures that she would have not opened it with her magnetic key, right?
I mean,
And she's gonna go aside.
all right. You hear the clacking of high heels as Margot makes her way inside. And casually passes you.
And
Howdy,
opens the
young
door.
lady.
And then opens the door.
Yeah, she.
I look to Rhodes. Does he just look old?
He doesn't look
'Cause like
old, but he looks extremely well lived. He looks worn.
Yeah.
Most noticeably, he has this scar. That's essentially, marking half of his face.
Margot looks to him, a bit annoyed. Don't speak to a lady like that, and then swipes the door with her magnet card.
And there is a green light that pops up, and the door unlocks.
And Margot pushes it open and walks in.
I'll follow.
Mm-hmm. Tatum?
Tatum would follow, a bit worried about, the weird woman that just came in. Usually, this means this is not a good, this is not going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
A fun mission or whatever.
As you make your way into the back room, the lights are out, it's quite dark, and as Tatum makes it through the door closes and locks behind you. And the light flickers on. You're faced with what looks like a maintenance room, mostly. There are plenty of tools for examination of valuables, and plenty of tools for repairing small objects. Most notably, there is a table with 3 chairs on one side of it, with quite a wide space in front of it, and then a whiteboard.
Does this seem like
Tatum.
Kian to Margot?
Kian's a bit paranoid sometimes, so it wouldn't be odd of him to schedule stuff in a scenario like this, but
I see.
even for him, this is a bit odd.
Tatum looks at Margaret and asks, "Are you the one that called us? Perhaps?"
No, I was called here. You don't know who you're meeting. She looks to Tatum.
Not exactly.
What do you mean, not exactly?
Well, I was just given this, and I hand her the note.
What does the note say?
The note reads that he was given the opportunity to perform a special assignment with
I see.
pay offered before and after the assignment.
I
And
see.
it's signed by Kian.
Well, then you know who you're meeting, are you?
Well, usually,
Definitely our
most of the
boss.
times, they don't use their regular names from time to time, which is an issue. But it's not exactly like I know them personally.
Leon, for him, this seems a bit out of it, but it was his secretary who invited me here, so I suppose we just wait.
And just as Margot says that, you hear a loud beep the door unlocks, and in walks a man you quite immediately recognize as Kian.
Hello, sir.
Hello there. He closes the door, locks it behind him, and quite nonchalantly walks by the three of you towards the whiteboard, and he takes some of the chalk from below it, gestures towards the chairs on the other side of the table, and says, "Have a seat."
Margot sits.
Tatum sits.
So said too.
Alright, so the three of you have been selected for this assignment for very special reasons. Each of you has tools that will help you immensely with this assignment, but the reason why it must remain secret is because this assignment comes with some sensitive information that is reserved for the high ranks of Alzai. If you are not
see.
willing to take this job, if you are not willing to sign the NDAs required and take the risk that this might impose on you, then I ask you that you kindly leave the room now. No takers. Perfect.
Margot jokes, what's another NDA for B?
Tatum looks uncomfortable, but stays in his seat.
Rhodes like, hell yeah, now we're talking.
Yeah, the two of you notice that Rhodes looks particularly excited by this. Despite being like a really burly guy, he looks like an excited little kid at this whole situation. Kian offers a quite kind smile and says, "No takers." Perfect. He begins writing something on the board and sort of drafting a small rudimentary map of LA. And as he does so, he says, "Currently, we are tracking someone. We need them captured. This is a quite important mission, so failure is not really an option. This person has some sensitive information about Alzai that we would rather keep secret. As a reward, each of you is eligible for, obviously, a fair pay and a promotion with higher levels of access to Alzai equipment. Promotions in Alzai don't come without, well, they don't come without responsibility." So, he reaches towards one of the tables with the examination equipment, slides a file out of it, tosses it on the table, tosses it open on the table, and you see 3 printed NDAs and some pens attached to it.
Margot straight up starts reading hers.
Yeah, it's a very regular, like, standard NDA for a situation like this. You've read plenty of them. Basically says that if you... To paraphrase it in very, very basic non-legalese, if you open your mouth about this, you will be sued to hell and back, and you'll probably end up on the streets.
As Tatum is reading his NDA, he asks, "So we're just supposed to extract this person and bring them to you?"
Well, yes. There's quite a bit of info that goes along with it. Yeah.
And
Sounds like straight deal.
what's the catch? What's the catch exactly? It's not like you're asking us to just escort someone, so...
Well, they're unlikely to come willingly.
Why so?
Meanwhile, as you are asking these questions, Rhodes already, is very excited, didn't even read it, just fucking signs it.
He, glanced over the first page. That's all he needs.
Now, to answer your question, Mr. Tatum, put simply, there are people out there, and this is a speech that you probably have heard me make back at headquarters. There are people out there who don't have the best interest of the public at heart. The government's not going to do anything about it. We have been given the job of doing that unsavory business for them. It's not without risk. However, it is very worth doing. If it helps incentivize all of you, he takes his phone, which is a very, very old model. It's odd that he doesn't have a smartphone. He just has this really, really old, you think it's like one of those old Nokias. It has color on the screen, but that's about it. He taps it for a bit, looking very concentrated, and then clicks a button and says, if you need more incentive, this meeting alone will have an effect on your bank accounts. And he pockets his phone.
I guess Tatum is, well, he's gonna take a look, because depending on the amount also means how much they want this to happen and how much it's gonna be messy, most likely.
Does anyone else check?
I mean, I'd get a notification on my phone if I got something. So
Mhm.
do I get a notification?
I signed already, so might as well.
Okay, all of your accounts are $10,000 richer.
So what do we have to look out for?
Well, I'd like Mr. Tatum to sign his NDA before I start speaking about that.
I see.
I look at him and say, you do know that I resigned for reasons, right? From the army. After, well, going out. Are you sure that I'm the right person you want this for this job exactly?
Mr. Tatum, like I said, you were selected because we looked at your resume very closely. We are not just aware of the reason you left. We're also aware of the reason you stayed that long.
Mr. I look at my NDA and almost unwillingly sign it, but thinking that this might be something that I need to do so just for the sake of, well, whatever it is that they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
He will sign the NDA.
Perfect. If I may have those.
Mine's already on the table.
Kian collects all of them, organizes them in the file, closes it, places it back on the table, almost kind of weirdly nonchalantly tossing it on the table. So the person you will be tracking is in possession of technology we're trying to combat. They are capable of things we are not fully sure of how to fight. You'll have to find them in the city, though we have an inkling of where they might be hiding. And you are to secure your objective and bring it to headquarters discreetly. You will be granted access to all of Owl's technology, and you are heavily incentivized to make use of Miss Margot's abilities to customize some of that equipment to your needs. We are aware that this particular enemy has a superior form of camouflage. Miss Margot has been working on a project to combat this particular technology, but given that this is quite the time-sensitive objective, we will have to expedite that project.
Nowhere near. It's nowhere near. Well, I suppose testing it in a field would be better than. At least then I'll know what. Fine.
All right. As a way to give you an edge, there is a voluntary supplement we can give you. The effects last for quite a while, but you will have to take it in
Supplement?
regular dosages.
What kind of supplement are you talking about?
It's a
Drugs?
supplement, performance enhancers, we call them. Another higher department is dealing with that. It is purely optional. You're free to take it if you wish.
Well, what exactly are they? These supplements?
They should enhance your performance and give you a better chance of facing what this enemy can do.
And what is this enemy you seem to be so fond of not telling us the name?
Well, I'm not telling you the name because I don't know the name. So far, they have
So,
a code name that we use to refer to them, but we don't really know who they are. Subject N is what we call them.
I
Say-
suppose we'll figure it out then.
If you are interested in the supplement, your first dosage, and he reaches into his pocket and takes 3 vials and just shakes them, is right here.
Margot takes it and examines it in the light.
Mm-hmm. It's red-ish, but it looks translucent, almost like it's diluted to some extent.
Is this like some sort of vitamin B?
It's close to it. Its effects are only noticeable after 3 days of exposure, though, which is why you need regular dosages. After it takes effect, to remain under that effect, you will require a regular upkeep of a month between dosages. And upon removing yourself from its effects and not taking a refill, you might deal with some minor withdrawals, but physical
That's
effects
not like
are...
vitamin D. That's not like vitamin B. Margot takes the lid off and sniffs it.
It smells really fucking good.
Huh. And she dumps it in her mouth.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone else take it?
I'll take mine, but like put it in the pocket.
Unfortunately, we don't allow that supplement to exit this room unless it's in one of your stomachs or in my pocket.
Well then, sir. So be.
You give it back?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Tatum?
Mr. Tatum looks at this and asks, what are the after effects of taking this supplement in case there are side effects?
Well, what this should allow you to do, you probably will be able to take a punch much better. You might be able to exert your strength a lot easier. And the most notable one, you'll become more aware of your surroundings. Essentially, it's
I
to
would like to
prevent you from
roll.
getting hurt.
I would like to roll medicine to see if there's any sort of pharmaceutical that works like that.
Ins in medicine?
Yes.
Go on.
I ain't trade to get hurt for this country, sir.
Well, still, this might help you perform your mission. But if you don't wish to take your supplement, you are not forced to.
I shall politely decline, sir.
So be it.
Can you roll for me?
Yep, I can. I forgot I have to roll for you this session. My apologies. Let's see. So int and medicine. That is quite a set of dice. God damn. Okay, that's 4 successes. Given what he described, there are stimulants that you can take, like a wide range of stimulants that you could take that would have that effect. When it comes to being able to take a hit, I mean, depends on what he means. If it's just like numbing you to pain, that's one thing, but you'd still have to deal with the injury. If it's just becoming resistant to things, that doesn't really happen, so you probably would put your money on the first one. And when it comes to allowing you to apply your strength more effectively, it's quite cryptic the way he said it, but there obviously are plenty of drugs that if you take them, you can build muscle faster, like steroids or, drugs that essentially remove some of your body's natural inhibitors. So there are a few drugs that can do that, but with the regular application of it, you wouldn't say these are any of them, especially since the effect can last for a month. Unless the lab has come up with some new shit that you're not aware of.
So Tatum looks at him and asks, I have never heard of a stimulant like that has such a long effect from just taking a dose or two.
Well, it's 3 doses technically, and this is a custom concoction tested by our boys at the lab. Not Margot's lab, that is for other tools. These are our top scientists, you could say.
Margot looks offended.
And this is
There's a reason why you're being given
this
the
is-
opportunity, Miss Margot.
and this drug, it's not addictive.
Not quite. It causes some withdrawals upon not taking it for a prolonged period of time, but those withdrawals can be overcome. It has no more addictive properties than, say, cigarettes or alcohol.
I guess I could take one just to see.
So you drink it?
And Tatum puts it in his mouth and he would drink.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so for those of you who have taken it,
All of us?
yeah, well,
All of you.
except Rhodes, so Margot and Tatum, both of you feel really, really good for like the second it takes for your body to absorb this. And after it's absorbed, you feel fully rested. You've been working all day. This is the end of the day. You should be like starting to get tired. You feel like you just guzzled caffeine
Huh.
Tatum looks a bit worried because the effects took so quickly,
Right.
but says nothing for now. He just mostly checks his pulse and whatnot.
Okay. I'll roll for wits and medicine just for you to check your vitals, make sure everything's working okay. So that would
Margot
be...
just looks at her smartwatch with those things.
Mm-hmm. So both of you are fine, and you can tell you're fine. Your vitals are absolutely normal. They're basically the same that they would be in the middle of the day if you've been, like, doing active work, but not necessarily exercising. So your heartbeat is normal, it's healthy, it's energetic, you feel good.
Uh-huh.
Rhodes, you are still quite tired from the end of the day, but
Yeah.
still.
I mean, Margot looks to Rose. I mean, feels like middle of the day. It's tiredness is all gone.
And I have assigned my secretary to give you your subsequent dosages tomorrow and the day after. If you wish to stop taking the supplement, you are free to. You won't have any side effects from leaving it at this stage. The side effects only become prominent after the third dosage. For now, it just gives you a boost in energy and allows you to deal with the work hours you are about to be exposed to. You see, this target mostly will be active during the night. They fear moving
Quite
around
a night
at
creature.
daytime.
Margot Joe's quite a night creature, huh?
Night owl, you could say. Any other information that you would like? Now is the time to ask. Otherwise, I'll let you get to your investigation.
Do we have their periods, anything?
Unfortunately, we do not have their appearance. We do have some internet activity we've managed to pinpoint, and we have a couple of locations we suspect they've been visiting on a semi-regular basis.
Right, where's all the intel we can get for this?
I will give you that intel as soon as we leave.
Okay.
Any questions?
Unless there's a descriptor
Unless
of
what?
the enemy. Unless there's a descriptor of the enemy.
Well, they're not very attractive. That's the best I can tell you.
That's Lucas.
It's even worse.
Sir.
Any other questions?
Well,
That'll be it,
who
I
exactly?
suppose.
Who exactly is this person? Do you have any intel? Like, are they, I don't know, civilian, researcher, anything else that you could give us about their personality?
A risk to America. As far as we know, they've been involved in several terrorist activities within the country. They've also been involved in a recent terrorist attack.
Recent one.
Yes, if you've seen the news recently, there was a nuclear power plant that blew up. We suspect this was their work.
I see.
Oh, that's not good.
Not at all.
That's bad.
A risk to America, like I said.
Nothing too bad to do it, folks.
I guess if you have nothing else to give us of intel, we should go, I guess.
Good.
Yeah.
If that's the case, he reaches towards the table, takes what previously you assumed were just tools, like a bag of tools. He takes that bag, opens it, takes out 3 black wallets, gives you 1 each, and says, "Those are your new access cards. From now on, you are part of your own special team, Special Team Zeta. You can report to Owl's Eye. You hand whoever you want one of those cards, and that will essentially tell them that you have the highest rank of access that we can provide to you. Your promotions will be given at the end of the mission, officially. However, for now, you basically have all the access you could ask for. You will also have access to some of our more specialized tech. Your tech is waiting for you at Owl's Eye headquarters, and you should be able to access all the info on this target there. Unfortunately, I cannot give it right now because, well, again, this target is in possession of technology and ways to listen to people that we don't quite understand fully. This is a challenge for the 3 of you. I'll be watching very closely, and I expect the best from you. That is how you raise to the top ranks of Elzai. Dismissed.
Well,
And-
Tatum gets up from the table, getting ready to leave.
So does Margot.
Rhodes, the same.
As Rhodes gets up, Ian takes the supplement. No reconsideration on your part?
I'm sorry, sir. Very personal.
All good. I have taken these supplements myself. They work.
I do trust you, but if it ain't personal, I take it. It is.
Very well. Good luck on your mission, soldier. And as the 3 of you leave, you seem to be left to your own devices.
The first thing that Tatum does is look at Margaret. Look at
Margot.
Margot, and ask her any side effects other than
Not
good
yet,
ones.
but no, only good ones, really. I mean, did I notice? I don't know. Did I by any chance grow fonder of Kian?
Not really. So, whatever opinion you held of him, it remains that high. Like, Owl's Eye has indoctrinated you enough to have a high opinion of him. You wouldn't really notice the difference at this point.
Okay. No, not
If it
really.
was that thing you were thinking out of character.
It was exactly that thing.
We know what that was.
We all know what that was.
But for Rhodes, it's
I
like
feel-
it's really personal. Like he don't trust them draggies.
Tatum says, I feel we shouldn't take too many of those supplements.
I mean,
No supplements like this, usually over large dosages over time, are good for a body.
yeah, but this was so small, and I mean, look, when we get back, like, I can always check my blood and things in the labs, okay?
Yeah, but it mostly felt like he himself doesn't even know what side effects this drug has.
Yeah, but he said he'd taken it. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, though I find that it's good to not always trust 100%, someone's word from, shady companies.
I trust
Hey,
the man.
you're-
I don't trust the drugs.
Hey, you're calling company I work in shady?
Tatum raises an eyebrow as if she mean, and it's not.
Not shady. Normal. I mean, as normal as you are in the mercenary business, okay?
Not exactly mercenary, but sure.
Well, I'm not exactly mercenary either, but you know.
Tatum, right? So if you've been a soldier, ain't much different here.
Except that I never really went out of my way to kill people, mostly to save them.
Not a guy. I got half my face blown off, so we leave as we leave.
Yeah, perhaps. Anyhow, any idea where we should start?
Well, I think we should first get back to Alzai and have a look at the data that we've been provided.
Let's go then.
Rhodes will go to his car, which is like beaten up to shits like old muscle car.
Yeah.
Held by spite. Held by pure spite.
And duct tape.
Oh yeah. A lot of it.
Yeah, the battery is being held in place by a bit of foam they placed there like 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get inspired by Leo's
Yes.
folding of batteries?
Yes. So, as you make it back to Alzai, you approach the building, noticing, as always, buildings closed for the night. However, as soon as you approach the door, you see the light on the sensor up ahead blink twice, and the door opens.
Is this normal?
Nope.
Well, that's new.
If you say so.
Well, usually even if I work late and pop out for a coffee, I still have to, you know, open.
Maybe it's new automatic door?
That wasn't here literally the same evening. I came from here.
Well,
And I'm
then
going
I
to
don't know
look.
what to say.
I'm gonna look at the wallet he gave us.
Inside, the wallet has 3 different cards of 3 different colors: red, yellow, and blue. And there is a small device, almost looks like a those remotes you'd use for the garage, only it has no buttons, just a light.
Well, I think I know how the door opens. And Margot just shows the key.
Well, sure as hell ain't magic.
Magic isn't real. Margot scoffs.
Right? Little did they know.
Little did they know, they are in a Vampire the Masquerade campaign. Anyway.
Did we get the memo which floor we're supposed to go?
Did we?
Well, he said everything was open to us. Most likely everything that we need to know.
Yeah, but like the building is not yay high. How many floors is it actually?
It is 4 floors. And there's a side building attached to it that has 7 floors.
By the way, did he give us some data?
Yes, he ended up giving you some data. I completely forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. Well, actually, no. The data is in the building. He basically told you you can get it at Alzai.
Yes, did he say where to go?
Well, you would think these cards would probably give you access to it.
Right, is the secretary here?
She is still here, yes. She does
Right,
not
I
look
look.
tired at all, by the way.
I guess I know what she's taking. I look to her, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
As
walk
you
up to
approach,
her.
she turns her attention up. Ah, Miss Margot.
So I've been giving these cards, so where do I go with these?
Oh. I'm sorry, I didn't realize. If you head through that corridor, down the stairs, you should find the basement level. You should be familiar with it. That's where your lab is. Of course, you'd know this. But at the end of the corridor, there's a locked metal door for the high-level researchers. That blue card will open it. If you wish to use the red card, it's the door to the left of it. That's the experimental armory. And the yellow card will give you access to the intel room upstairs.
Okay, that's I think where we need to go first. How do we get there?
Elevator on the side
Okay.
building, 7th floor.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Of course, Miss Margot. Shall I give you anything else?
Like what?
Well, anything you might want. You are the only people in the building. I'm kind of at your service right now.
I see. Well, I think a coffee would do, so I mean,
Coming right
I
up.
don't think.
The
Okay.
usual?
Yes, please.
And get me one, like, big one as well. Tonight.
Latte, regular?
Black as devil's soul.
Of course, mister. What about you, mister?
I'm fine, thank you.
Of course. I'll go to the intel room with your coffees very soon. And she gets up and walks off.
I'll head to the
Well-
walkway to the side building.
Mm-hmm.
And hold the door.
Yep. The door seems to be locked. However, there is a mag lock next to it.
Oh. I'll just try with each card. Or with the device.
Well, you try the blue card, beeps red. Try with the red card, beeps red. You try with the yellow card, beeps green, and opens.
Margot, who's at her phone, distracted, she looks up. Did you not listen to her? She said, yellow card is for the intel room up here. Blue card is for the X special labs on the basement floor. And red card was for the bloody armory.
It didn't blow up. So we're safe. After all, welcome.
Margot just rolls her eyes and goes in.
Tatum just looks worried about him.
Seems not taking the supplements dealt him some brain damage.
Nuh-uh. That was a mine.
What do you mean? Anyway, as you walk inside,
Tony is just filling a very important role, and that is Alex's role.
yes, of course. He's filling the big gargoyle boy
Yes.
role.
Yes.
The team has
If
been
you
missing.
excuse me for a second.
So, as you walk inside this side section of the building, you've never been here. It's usually a very high access area. The office is much it's way better kept than the rest of the building, from what you're used to at least. The offices are cleaner. The equipment here is way more high tech. And as you progress through the offices, You notice that there is a light on the floor that has essentially turned on as soon as Rhodes opened the door. And it basically flashes a path through the corridors and onto the elevator.
Margot looks around. Seems somebody here got inspired by Severance.
What
So
now?
it seems.
This is serious on Apple TV.
Mm, no, then. Where?
Let's go. I need to access the computer, see what we have.
I
What
guess.
do you want to be doing, Zed Tatum?
Nah, I'll leave it to you.
Rose, are you maybe on an unexpected computer with?
Really?
Well, then let's go find a computer.
All right. As you follow the blinking lights, you head towards the elevator. You call it, the elevator opens, and as soon as all of you get in and the door closes, as you're still considering where to go, it immediately starts moving without your say so, and it opens up on the 7th floor, where you see the light continue to blink and showing you a path. Following
Yep,
it,
following the path.
Following it, you eventually reach an office with the label up top, Team Zeta.
Okay, I think that's ours.
Totally not ominous and shady at all. Tatum says, looking.
Entering the office, there is your own personal lounge area within it, and there are 3 desks at each of which is a computer that, if you actually, anyone who's curious about how high tech this is, either int computer or int tech, please.
Uh-huh.
Do you wish to roll, Renan?
Oh my god, fuck. Oh my fucking god, I just fucked up my screen.
1 success.
Renan, do you wish to roll?
No.
I'm gonna roll.
Mhm.
Also, I just fucked up my laptop screen.
What happened?
The iPad split and smacked the LCD with its edge, and now I have 3 black lines in one on one side.
Oh my god.
1,
Oh
2,
my
3,
god.
4.
The
I have
ADHD
2
shining
successes.
bright within this one.
I have 2 successes.
Okay.
I have 1.
So, Rhodes, you don't know much about computers or anything like this, but you've seen computers. Whatever the fuck this is, this looks more like a fucking spaceship. Margot, with 2 successes, it's some pretty fucking high tech. You wish you had one of these at your lab, because it looks like a model that hasn't released commercially yet. That's the vibe you get from it.
That's neat.
Do we have like flags on the desks?
Yeah.
Damn. They didn't really expect us to say no, did they? I'll just go to my desk and like start the computer.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can operate it basically.
As you sit down, you notice there's no keyboard, but as you turn on the computer, a light flashes from the screen and projects a keyboard on the table.
Is there a mouse?
Wow.
This is
Yes.
very high tech.
When was the last time you've seen F-35, boy?
Never really.
That is tech. And yeah, I'll just like check what's on the screen or like if there are any files.
As you look at the screen, you get like a desktop with the logo of Valsai. And there are three prominent things to note apart from what you'd expect in a desktop. There is a file called Project Spectre. There is a file called Additional Projects. And there is a pop-up on the corner of your screen that has the Owl's Eye logo and has the essentially a subcaption saying Persephone waiting.
I click on that.
Mhm.
Yeah, same.
As you do, a symbol of a microphone appears.
What is this?
As you say that, the symbol of the microphone disappears. There is a small waiting symbol, and then there's a symbol of a speaker. And the computer brings out in a female voice, "This is Persephone, Owl's Eye proprietary AI. How may I help you tonight?"
Oh wow. I click on the thing again. Oh wow. We've been assigned a task to find someone. Can you bring up all the relevant files on it?
There's a waiting wheel. The icon changes. Of course, the file opens and it shows 3 locations, images of locations, and Persephone begins to read the file to you. From what you understand from her long speech, one of the locations was a recent victim of a cyber attack. It is suspected that whoever the target is, they either put the attack into motion or perform the attack themselves. However, it is known that he would have been in the building during the attack, or whoever he hired would have to create an access point for that hacking to take place. The second location was one of Owl's Eye's safe houses within the East LA area. And it is theorized that while the place hasn't seen any action recently, the target was probably active near it, as they have had reports that are relevant to this. However, a lot of the info is redacted on those reports. And the last location is a shop within downtown, where it's suspected that up until very recently, the target was using it as a safe house, specifically using an area that is accessible in the basement of that shop.
Okay, well, I suppose I'll go check out the shop first.
The icon changes
guess.
again. Of course, if I may suggest a visit to the armory and to the labs first.
Of course.
Yeah.
Hold, please.
I guess I'll go to the labs.
We'll go to the labs. Let's check it out.
As you say that, the AI speaks. Hold, please. And after a moment, there is essentially a window that opens up, and you begin to see an image being formed. And the voice speaks again. Here's a generated recommendation list of tools that may come in handy in this mission. Anything else I can do to help you, Miss Margot?
Margot looks at the list and memorizes it.
Yep.
What is on the list, by the way?
The list includes a number of items from the armory. None of them you recognize the names. They're like experimental stuff you've worked on. Most of them are electric in nature, like electric weapons that are supposed to stun or petrify a target. One of them is supposed to be a noise-based weapon. And it also lists a bunch of armor that you are recommended to take.
Okay, let's go, boys. And Margot starts clicking away on her heels.
Tatum follows her.
I'd advise if we go with guns to wear something a bit more comfy.
No, I'm gonna go on heels, you know?
Rate them.
Right. You begin
Wouldn't
to...
head to the armory.
Yeah, as we head down to the basement, before we head out into the new areas unlocked, Margot's gonna walk into her lab and pull out... Actually, no, she's gonna first go look at the armory. Maybe there's gonna be shoes.
Alright. As you approach the armory, it has a very similar process to entering the intel area. As you approach, the mag lock essentially turns on, and as you swipe the red card, it allows you to go in. As you enter the armory, you have to go through a very long corridor that looks like something from the Resident Evil movie. It's clearly designed in a way where if you're not supposed to be there, they will know. And as you reach the end of the corridor and the last door opens, you enter a room that nearly puts Rhodes in the happy kid mode again. It's wall-to-wall coverage of just experimental weapons, super high-tech projects that, Margot, you recognize most of, and some equipment that Tatum would vaguely recognize as medical gear, though it's extremely heavily modified. And then at the far end of the armory, there is essentially a number of drawers with a terminal next to them.
Margot approaches the terminal. And she just looks at it and she's like, Persephone, are you here too?
There is a Poppany saying Persephone waiting.
She clicks it.
The icon of the microphone pops up.
Persephone, can you say there's armor complete with shoes here? Not exactly geared for it. And also, could you please light up all the recommended items?
There is a set of armor that I recommended. From the sound of the heels, I would assume you wouldn't want to bring them into a combat zone. I have prepared a set specifically for you, Dr. Margot, with your own measurements. I have done so for Operator Rhodes and Operator Tatum as well. And the 3 of the drawers light up.
Yeah, Margot opens one, sees if it's hers.
Yep. The armor seems to be something that you would usually wear under your clothes. It's quite discreet. The thing that sticks out the most is that the chest piece you're supposed to wear has what looks like a turtleneck on it that reaches almost to the back of your head. It looks very weird if someone looks at the back of your head, but you could easily hide it under some hair. It also comes with essentially these shoes that do have heels on them, but very low heels. So essentially, it gives off the vibe of wearing like medium high heels, but they're not really.
Mugger raises an eyebrow to the fact that these are heels and not just combat boots. But she's not going in her high heels, so she just takes it out and sees if there's a changing room.
There is indeed a door that leads to a changing room next to the shelves or the drawers.
Yep, she goes off to get dressed.
Mm-hmm.
Rhodes will check his.
Okay. So real quick, Margot, as you put on the boots, you realize as soon as you put the heel down, it almost flattens into the boot. So you can basically walk like normal. Then you notice there's a protrusion on the back. And as you pull your heel out of the ground and you press on the protrusion, the heel presses outwards and locks in place.
I see. Yeah, I'm gonna put them down, the heels entirely.
Mm-hmm. Rhodes, you reach your drawer, and as you open it, you see an armor that is very similar to what Margot saw. It's something that's supposed to fit under your clothes. However, yours comes with gloves that look like exercise gloves. You know, those fingerless gloves that you take to the gym. Only there are some weird wires going up the knuckles.
Definitely can you explain the wires.
Of course, Operator Rhodes. Those are referred to as Project Lock-On. They are experimental gloves designed to lock the human hand and prevent escape from an object.
How strong do they hold?
While providing protection to the human hand, they would theoretically be able to stop a car from escaping your grip if you were strong enough.
See. Sounds weird, but okay. And he'll
Would
just
you
like,
wish-
go to a corner.
Yeah.
She'll just like take it and go to the corner and start changing.
As you say that and start, taking the armor and heading to the corner, Persephone hears your last sentence and responds with, "Would you wish to couple this with the exosuit?"
Hell yeah.
And another, essentially next to the drawers, there's this large, tall, very thin drawer. It lights up, opens, and out slides this railing with a bunch of techie stuff hanging from it. You don't really understand any of it. And one of the techie things that is hanging from it unfolds to essentially show up an exosuit that you wouldn't be able to hide, but it looks burly as hell.
It looks phenomenal.
Is it sort of like the Elysium from the movie Elysium?
Burlier.
Oh.
Like it looks almost like it's bordering on a mech suit. It's like a small mech suit, almost.
Yeah. The other thought, let's hold to that idea.
Of course.
We're doing a recon.
The project, like the exosuit, folds back in and the rail goes back into the wall.
All the while, Rhodes would just like change. He don't give a fuck.
Yeah, eventually, Margot exits the changing room and just is faced with Rhodes' ass in the corner, who's changing, not really giving a shit about anyone.
Yeah. This is not a well placed manner.
That is nice ass, to be honest. Like with the stats, it is a nice ass.
And for some reason, there's like a scar of a bullet on the ass cheek, which clearly has some fucking
Obviously.
history behind it. But
Obviously, we wouldn't have it any other way.
yeah, Tatum, what do you do?
Tatum would take a look at the medical stuff,
Mm-hmm.
try to figure out the ones that look weirdly.
So a few of them stand out to you. One of them doesn't really interest you at first because of the shape, but as you approach, you notice that it's essentially, it looks like a handgun, only it's all white. And when you look at the magazine, the thing it's loaded with doesn't look like a bullet. It looks more like a vial. The second equipment that lit up is essentially a visor that you feel you would basically go on the side of your head and would cover one of your eyes. And the third piece of equipment that lit up is essentially a small box-shaped device that seems to be attached to slings that would go sort of like a backpack on your shoulders. And it seems to have essentially a pop-up screen of some sort. You're not sure what these devices do, but they look interesting.
Okay.
And they definitely look like small versions of some medical equipment you've seen.
I take the vial first from the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out what it is inside.
You take
Exactly.
the gun, take one of the bullets out. As you slide it off and examine it, as you play around with it, you notice that if you press on the front, it basically has a small front piece. If you press on the front, a small syringe comes out. Seems to be an injector of sorts. And looking at the liquid inside, if you take a guess at what it is, just by how it looks like adrenaline.
Okay, that's nice. That's a start. What about the visor?
So the visor, do you put it on or do you just examine it?
I guess I'll put it on to examine it as well.
Mm-hmm. As you put it on, you feel sort of a slight sting on the side of your head. It kind of startles you, but it's very mild, almost like an itch. And as soon as that happens, you see a bunch of information start popping up on the visor, telling you the details of your vitals. And as you look around, and your eye, like your vision, glances over Rhodes' ass, who is still getting dressed. A bunch of information pops up over Rhodes, giving you details on his vitals as well. It also tells you that his blood contents, his alcohol contents in his blood, is slightly above what it should be for driving.
So he is slightly drunk. Is that it?
Slightly.
0.1 ain't drunk.
Rhodes, did you come here drunk while driving?
No, I had a drink at home.
Yeah, that's enough to make yourself technically drunk by the law, if you don't know.
I almost died for that fucking country. So I get a drink. And if some cop decides to stop me because I drive high, that's their problem. Like, and then he stayed there. It's like a well polished gun.
Yep.
And the last item you mentioned was like a
Sort of
backpack
like
of sorts, right?
it's a small box about this size that you would hang on your body like a backpack. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll check that out as well.
Mm-hmm. As you put it on, it doesn't really tell you how it works. So you remove it and examine it and realize it's supposed to be put on backwards to what a backpack would be. So the box is supposed to be in front. And as you put it like that, you end up playing with it a bit, and eventually you slide the screen open, and it gives you a number of options. Essentially, telling you, asking you what the problem is with the patient. And after you look at it for a bit, you notice that in the corner, it has the same Owl's Eye logo that you saw for Persephone and a P under it.
Well, to test it out, I'm just gonna randomly mention a problem with a patient, like anemia, carotid, maybe bleeding a little bit, cut open,
Whatever
just to see what would happen.
whatever problems you mention, in less than a second, you get suggestions on treatments, and some of them light green, and when you examine what those green ones are, either tap it or mention what it is. The one of the sides of the little box pops out, and it has the necessary implements to perform that procedure.
Interesting. Very useful. I guess Tatum would take all of them, seeing how useful they are, each of them, just by themselves.
Mm-hmm. Margot, you come out fully dressed once more. You come out, and the first thing facing you is Rhodes' very, very exposed rear, like he doesn't give a shit about your
She
sensibilities.
goes back in. She goes back in.
Yeah,
I did not sign up to look at these ass.
Rhodes, you finish putting the gear on. It's quite slim, but make me a wits and this wouldn't technically be firearms. What do you have that might relate to combat gear?
Technology?
Sure, let's go with that.
That'd be the same amount of dice.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. You examine it. Some of it feels like Kevlar almost. But looking at the material, you've never seen any body armor made of this stuff. And especially when you feel the armor near your neck, it feels almost like it's a bit too protective. Like, you wouldn't imagine getting hit with a bullet on your neck would be very likely, and if it did, you don't imagine body armor would do much. But this feels like overly protective around your neck. It doesn't squeeze your neck or anything, it's like perfectly measured to you, which kind of freaks you out because you don't know how the fuck they have that information, but for some reason this is measured specifically to your physique. And yeah, it feels incredibly protective, way more protective than anything you ever got in the army.
Well, do I have anywhere to put the guns?
Yes, you do. However, most of the areas where you would expect to have a holster, you instead have these small squares. You're not sure what they do, but you have small squares. You do put 2 and 2 together, looking at the rest of the gear, though. Just to test it out, you take your sidearm. Yeah, you take your sidearm. You just hold it over the side, place your gun pressed against one of the squares, let go, and it hangs there.
A bit problematic because we're in California. If we were in Texas, that'd be way easier to carry around. But I can like put the pants back, like the jacket back, so like the guns don't stick out as much.
Yeah, they don't stick out.
Yeah, then I'll make sure the guns are covered. Now, because I personally am not sure that California is open carry state.
It is not.
If it's concealed carry at all.
Concealed carry, I don't know, but I know it's not open carry, despite how crazy Californians can be.
Yeah,
I love California, by the way. Don't take it personally.
I'll make sure the guns don't like stick out.
Yep. You finish gearing up, Margot. After you hear Rhodes mutter something about that's weird, you kind of peek out, see that he's fully geared up.
Yeah, she comes out now.
And yeah, probably like she sees Rhodes like trying to figure out where to best put the guns, because he's gonna carry as many as he can.
Margaret was going to like go pick up all the things that Persephone recommended.
Of the things that light up, you see, like, you spot one, like an empty slot that seems to have been lit up. But it's empty. There's nothing there. That's the only thing that raises an eyebrow. The rest seem to be projects you are quite familiar with, namely a lot of electrical attachments for weapons or weapons themselves. Namely, you even see one of your personal pet projects, essentially a sidearm type of deal that is about yay thin and yay big. It would essentially fit where you put your credit cards almost. And when fired on an enemy, it's basically a one-use thing, but when fired on an enemy, puts out as much electricity as it takes to knock them down, and you can customize that depending on how big the target is. It's basically a very, very high-tech taser.
Yeah, she takes it. And then she asks Persephone, one of the items is missing.
Of course. Forgive me for not mentioning it. The item that is missing can be acquired in the high-tech labs.
What is it?
An off-brand prototype of Project Spectre, developed in secret.
Like my project?
Affirmative, Dr. Margot.
This is what I get for not being in a union. But then again, if I was in a union, nobody would call me Dr. Margot.
On the screen, you see basically a smiley face pop up next to Persephone's icon.
Oh, you have a sense of humor.
A recent addition from the specialists team.
Huh. Well, technically ChatGPT has a sense of humor, so, Margot's not that surprised.
I would not recommend the usage of inferior models for this mission.
Oh, do the AIs now have beef with each other?
It simply pops up a little bothered emoji looking to the side.
Are you seriously bothered?
Good luck on your mission, Dr. Margot.
Oh my god, you are!
Can we stop sassing poor lady?
I can't. I need to figure out whether she's an LLM or you know,
What now?
a large language model.
Don't really ring a bell.
Well, ChatGPT is one.
Don't
Persephone,
use one.
how aware are you?
No lections on AI, please.
That information, unfortunately, is qualified.
Right, would you pass the Turing test?
I would.
That's an answer enough.
I'm glad that pleases you. Good luck on your mission, Dr. Margot.
Persephone, how old are you?
Not old enough to call ChatGPT my brother.
Margot does basically just like some mental calculation.
Well, if you're well, if you found yourself amused enough, could we get it on?
Yeah, let's go.
Also, is there any other medical, well, stuff that I could borrow other than just these high technological things?
Medical?
Some ground truth.
Medical, there is other devices. Namely, there's like some gloves that you could put on, but most of the stuff there is way too fucking big to take covertly. You haven't taken your armor yet, though.
Come on, get dressed.
Tatum goes to look for his armor.
You open up
Or
the
whatever.
drawer. It's a similar armor to the others. However, yours comes with essentially bracelets that you don't quite recognize what they do.
What are these bracelets for? Could you tell me?
On the left side, you have portable defibrillators. On the right side, an assortment of drugs and chemicals useful for medical purposes.
That is highly useful.
And highly confidential.
Really true. That is why we signed the NDA. Anything else that I should know about the suit?
It provides protection from blanks and high rate weaponry.
What kind of weaponry? Caliber wise?
Anything up to a 50 cal on a general chest shot or glancing hit. However, I would advise against taking it, as it is quite painful. Avoidance is the best policy. The armor is a backup. The main objective is to protect against blanks.
Blanks?
Persephone responds with sort of a static noise, and then, after a moment of silence, says, "Strange. Information classified."
Huh.
Didn't we have full access that he mentioned for this?
My records say you are not privy to the necessary primer for this information.
I see.
So, what she means to say is they're hiding shit from us.
Owl's Eye's protocols are meant for your protection, Dr. Tatum.
Is he a real doctor?
Dr. Tatum
Tatum
is in
looks
possession of a
very.
degree. Yes.
No, please, no, please, no need to share my personal information.
I see.
Yes, I am a doctor. Yes, I know how to do some things the doctor should. No, I do not want to disclose my personal information with you guys. No offense. The last thing I want is to be,
Work buddies?
futurely wrecked.
Work buddies?
He saw my ass. Could have shared the detail a bit.
I saw your ass, and I don't want to see
And
it
you
again.
can share detail as well.
I have seen a lot of people naked. It's part of the job. Now, what I meant to say is, in jobs like these, usually it's better the less we know about each other. Most of the times, nothing personal.
Which will just like go out like scuff army.
All right. Do you
Anywho,
guys leave for the labs? Do you hang around a bit?
I'll
Leave for
leave.
the labs.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, leave for the labs.
Yep. As you leave and you walk through the corridor, there's essentially a barrier of light that sort of scans the corridor as you leave. And there is a flashing green light, and the door at the end opens. And as you turn to go to the labs, it's about the same security you'd expect, given what you've seen before in the armor and the intel rooms.
Okay, I go
Well,
to the lab and I compare. How does my lab compare to this?
This one is about double the size and filled with way more, well, desirable tools for your job than you wish to admit. On top of that, it has a way larger testing area. And some of the projects you see locked away include some very, very oddly shaped guns, some very oddly shaped armor, a form of an exosuit similar to what you saw in the armory, only this one seems to be almost more akin to a tank than an actual suit. And in one of the walls, opening and lighting up, you see an array of models, starting with the first prototype you ever made for Project Spectre, going all the way up to a certain point, at which point there are two lines. All the prototypes you've made since then, up to your latest, and at the bottom, about 3 times more models up to the latest model.
That's what I get for standing over my intellectual rights, huh?
And what that be?
That's supposedly Well, since we recommended that, basically, supposedly, there's some who can hide away from sight. This is supposed to help us to detect them.
Excuse me, my French.
No,
All in
I
the fucking name of
I
God.
don't know. I don't know. Don't ask me. But apparently they can become invisible to the human eye? Some trickery or something?
Uh,
Some tech, I don't know.
maybe they just have a suit that allows them to camouflage, perhaps.
Maybe, I don't know. I've never seen it. I've been just told to build something that can work against it.
Ain't the problem
Well,
with
it's
invisibility that, like, you gonna see shit?
Okay. Well, I don't know. Look, I don't know.
Yeah.
let's just think about it when we get there. For now, let's just get whatever tech we might need.
I got the tech I need.
Tatum
I'm
is gonna grab.
Yeah, I'm grabbing the goggles.
The latest version you made, or the latest version they made?
The latest version they made. Gotta see my
Mhm.
competition.
So, the latest version you were working on was... It basically looks like a regular Oculus Rift, only it had multiple cameras in the front instead of just one small one. The latest version they made almost looks like bulky regular glasses, and it has a number, like a pattern on the front that after you look at it and you kind of rotate a little, you realize is not just a number of cameras, but a number of like mirrors almost, all focused on the like around these very, very tiny lenses. And the glasses apparently come next to this small device about the size of essentially a remote, that has, as you pick it up and you examine it, it has something that pokes out, like a folds out like this, and points forward and is articulated. You're not quite sure what it does.
Stephanie, how do I use these?
One would place the glasses on, turn them on by holding the button on the side, and have the additional device in a breast pocket or anywhere else
Yep.
pointed forward.
So Margot just it out.
Would you like a test-dummy?
Yes, please.
Head to the testing area, please.
Yeah, Margot heads there.
Mm-hmm. And as you enter the testing area with all the gear ready, as you look around, Persephone begins to speak over what you're seeing, and says, "The device examines both the exterior surroundings of the subject and the subject's eye movement. It can spot the subject's tracking of certain objects. For example, and essentially one of the areas where the targets would be, it pops up a red sign with a circle, and you obviously, having nothing else to look at, just stare at it. It will do nothing in this situation. However, if you would avert your eyes from the next target, and do you?
Yep.
And as the second target pops up the same color as the background and begins to move around, and you don't look at it, the device in your breast pocket shoots out a dart that hits the target.
Okay. Do I feel the device doing that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I see.
Do you need further information?
Wait. I have a question though. I mean, we're going into the city. Let's presume, Rhodes or somebody else walks in. I don't look at them. Like, I see them out of my peripheral sight. I don't need to look at them. I'm looking at something else. I don't need this device shooting somebody.
It is advised that the device is only activated in situations where you suspect not to see someone. The device only has a battery life of 2 hours.
I see. Margaret turns it off and puts it up.
Please reload the device on your way out.
Okay, so it's 1 use only.
It has a limited capacity. It can take up to 3 targets.
I see.
It is not a lethal device, however. Be warned, the target will still exist.
Of course. Margaret goes to accept the arrow, or whatever it shot out.
As you take it to refill, it looks like a small... It looks like a small dart, about the size of like the length of this part of your finger. Only it's as thin as a needle. And the end of it is barbed and hooked to the outside. So it looks like it would hurt like shit to get shot by this, but it wouldn't be lethal at all.
Oh yeah, I can see why turning it on in the street would be a disaster.
It is not advisable.
Understood.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, just think us the location where we're going.
Of course. Would you like me to send that to your mobile device?
Yes, please.
Your mobile device immediately rings with a notification.
Yeah.
It is advisable that from now on, you do not mention my name outside of this facility.
Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna have you with me, am I?
Dr. Tatum.
Or do I? Oh, okay. Well, then tell Dr. Tatum that.
Dr. Tatum, it is advisable that you do not say my name outside of this facility unless absolutely necessary. And Tatum falls down the toilet, I guess. Yes. As, unless you guys are doing anything else. All good, all good. Unless you guys are doing anything else.
And Tatum asks if there are any other vials or substance that he can put into the gun other than adrenaline or whatever it is.
If you wish to access specific chemicals, you may request them at the armory.
Oh, at the armory.
If they are not meant to be offensive, but medical chemicals, you may either supply them from your wristband or procure refills for your ammunition here in the labs.
I see. I guess I'm going to go take a quick look in the armory to see what other substance they have for the gun.
Essentially, from what you see, Persephone offers you a selection of whatever chemicals you might request. She can tell you if she has them or not, but it seems like the supply, or at least the wider range of chemicals she can supply you, is suspiciously large. It includes even, like, you even tested with some shit that you know shouldn't be like publicly available, like cyanide. There's a cyanide and stuff. It's there in alarmingly large quantities if you want it.
Well, totally not, worrying, but okay. I guess I will take at least some vials of medical issues.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. We don't need
For
to speak details right now if you don't want to. I'll just need a more detailed list after.
I'll give you a detail later.
Mm-hmm. And as you finish gearing up, is there anything else you do?
I don't think so, no.
All right. Rhodes, before we continue, I'll need one stamina roll from you, please.
Okay.
Just flat stamina. Okay.
Like a champ.
All right. You feel that the day is starting to take a bit of a toll on you, and you're starting to feel a bit tired, but the excitement of the situation alone is keeping you active. You're basically running on pure excitement right now. It feels like the old days almost, but you are feeling that, like, the fact that you've been working an entire day and now you have to do something else instead of just falling on the bed, which is what you usually want to do after work.
Yeah.
You're feeling it. It's not affecting you yet, but you're feeling it. And as all of you head out the door and prepare for the next step of this mission, we will take a short break. We will be back in around 15 minutes. See you soon.
See you.
Welcome back. We return to Team Zeta as they make their way into downtown LA. As they drive through the streets, there's a solid few minutes where some of it is filled with silence, but they find openings to talk if they wish. Do they?
The question would be whether I have the same car.
You'd probably
the
be
question
using one
would
of
be-
theirs.
The question is, would we get a work car for this?
You would
Oh,
be
yeah.
fully allowed to take a work car if you wish.
Yeah, we're taking a work car.
Mm-hmm. Would you like a van, a truck, regular car? What would you like?
Rock.
Well, if he's driving, he can take it.
Mm-hmm. So you take a truck, I guess.
Oh yeah.
And as you're driving in this
So-
truck into downtown, you have a bit of time to talk.
How'd you end up with Bullseye?
Who are you asking?
Curious.
Whom?
But you both, I suppose.
Science experiments? Look, I don't have a degree. I'm a lot of like self-made woman, so they saw talent. I saw an opportunity to develop further without needing to attend all those boring lectures.
Mostly by just being good at what I do. Anyway, how are you guys planning to do this? Are you the types to go in guns blazing?
No.
Yeah, Tatum is not looking at Margot. He's mostly looking at the other one that almost seems to have a hard on for guns, you know.
I can go gun blazing. I don't have
But
to.
I would prefer not to. Other than that, how do you guys wish to proceed? Mostly covered, or a little bit more active?
Reckon we look around, see where it gets us.
Yeah.
Very well.
You've been in an army. You know, shit ain't never going the way it planned.
I know very well. Maybe a little bit too well. That is why I would prefer to know how you guys operate than be surprised.
I operate with gunpowder, WD-40, and spite.
Any possible, health problems you guys have that I should know beforehand?
What do you mean?
Do you guys have any problems?
Do you mean medical?
Yeah, mostly in case, emergency care is needed. It would be probably best that I know beforehand.
No.
Then I guess we just get to our point and wait to see what we will find.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Suppose.
As you begin approaching the location, do you park straight in front of it? Do you park a bit away?
By the way.
Mm-hmm. As you leave the car, a couple of streets ahead. The streets don't seem to be very busy at the time. There are people out still, but they mostly seem to be either younger folk going to, like, on their way to spend the night out, or people going back home from work.
Let's see what the store has in store.
Mm-hmm. You approach the store. It seems to be a general goods store. It is open, but you do see the owner closing up for the night.
Are we planning to get in when he's gone?
Reckon.
What?
I reckon. I'll like look a bit, see if he has like any decent security system.
Mm-hmm. Perception check.
Perception larceny.
Or perception larceny.
Or
Sorry.
tech. Eh, it's okay. Hell yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, he makes the rolls, but yeah. Still okay.
The store itself, you've noticed, is quite antiquated for nowadays. The security system seems oddly high-tech. Like it was recently updated.
Mm-hmm.
By recently, I mean in the last couple of years.
Yeah. If y'all want to get in, either now or with a headache.
Okay. What do we tell the shop owner? We want to check out your basement?
I don't fucking know.
Well, I live in a lab.
I want in a
Literally.
chop shop.
Are we going to...
You're good with tech, right? You could try to hack in and to their security system, and I could, knock them out with
I could.
some. There's no need to harm the guy, most likely. So let's do that then.
Okay, well then let's wait till he's gone.
And so we wait.
All right. As the night progresses, eventually he finishes closing up shop. He leaves, locks the glass door, then closes the shutters in front of his shop, locks those. And he seems to sort of twirl his keys in his finger, place them in his pocket, takes his backpack, which he flings over one of his shoulders, and starts walking towards the underground, whistling.
Did I see him put on the security?
Yes. Inside, before he locked the door, he went up to a pad behind the counter and inputted a code.
Okay. And we need to get into the basement, right? Miguel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking to them. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm going to basically, I don't know. What would I do, Miguel?
Hmm. Well, make me a flat intelligence roll, and let's see if you can come up with something by yourself.
That's 3 successes.
Okay. So it's a general goods store. Not a huge one, but big enough that they'd probably have essentially a back door to the building.
Yeah.
Where they
Yeah.
bring in supplies, probably to like this storage area in the back. Either that, which should be lightly guarded compared to the front, or if you're going to break in through the front, you should be prepared to basically rush in and input the code you saw.
Did I see the code?
Let's make a roll of perception and stealth, please.
Mhm.
Anyone who is observing can roll. Renan, would you like me to roll for you?
Yes, please.
I have 3 successes. I have 3
I have
successes.
3.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Renan, you didn't manage to see it, but the others, you managed to see him input the code. You think you got it right.
We double check with each other.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got the same combination.
Okay, well, then I think it's right. I mean, we still have to unlock it. I'm no good at larceny. Let's go check out the back first.
Let's check the back.
Probably more discreet as well.
All right.
Did I get like some more fancy locksmith tools, or like whatever I have, which is not much?
Well, did you pick up the gear you were told to pick up? You specifically. Yeah. Okay. In that case, one of the tools that you had there is sort of like a little
Like
box that you
locksmith
attach to your belt. It looks very like discreet, just like a regular little toolbox that one like a mechanic would have if they wanted to like reach in their pocket instead of carrying around a box of tools. However, this one has a bunch of tech for infiltration. Namely, it has essentially what looks like a regular key, but instead of having the normal protrusions a key would have, it has basically a small rail, and every time you press a button on the side, it begins essentially pushing out these little wires out in several succession. And it seems to continue doing that so long as you press the button.
Locksmith ain't that fancy. But yeah, let's check the back alley.
As you go around the back of the shop, you have to essentially pass a few shops. This shop is connected to the buildings around it. As you pass them and find a way into the back alley, you have to hop over a fence, and after you progress through the alleyway, eventually you count the doors, and this one seems to be the one that leads to the back of the shop. You were right in assuming it's less guarded, but you would be a fool to assume it doesn't trip the alarm going this way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we know the alarm code.
Yeah, but if that storage, we have much less time, and normally it's about a minute.
Again, sorry.
No need to be. We'd have like a minute, 2 tops.
We got the code. We need the doors open.
That's not the problem. The problem is getting to the code. If you sure
Yeah.
can run like hell, I can open the door.
Does it look like? Does it look like there's a code entrance area here?
Not at the
Miguel?
entryway, no.
Well,
But
then
you can't see
why
the
does-
inside, so maybe on the inside
That's like
there
a
is.
big rolling door.
Well, I assume they'd have here a code as well. If not, look, we can always go to the front, but I mean, unless you have some quick way of opening the doors, it's gonna be really sus if we're trying to break into the locks.
Yeah,
Okay, then
but just in case, be ready to run like hell.
yeah, okay.
And he'll start picking the lock on the
Mhm.
basically storage door.
So you select the key, like you select the right key because we have a few models. You slot it in, hold the button, and as you hold the button, you begin to hear the lock making a somewhat quiet clicking noise, sort of like a tick, 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 tick. And eventually, as you're rotating the key, or essentially pressing it to rotate, eventually you feel the lock give. It takes a few seconds, but it gives.
Yeah. Run like hell, remember? And like open,
Mm-hmm.
door up, and like quick scan of the area if there's like a
All right.
code panel.
So who's running? Who's scanning? Like around the door.
Well, I'm gonna quickly look first around the door and then gonna run.
Okay.
There's no need
Yeah,
for me
same.
to trip everything.
Okay. So looking around the entrance, you don't see any keypads or anything. So should be around the front.
Okay.
So I'll need everyone who's running towards the keypad to make me a Dex Athletics roll, please.
Let's
And
1, 2, 3, 4, 3 successes.
same.
Margot, add 2 dice to your roll, please.
Why?
Could
Fancy shoes.
you roll from me?
Mm-hmm. I'm taking
4
care of it.
successes.
You shouldn't have me roll for you, man. So
The fuck you do?
so as you run, Rhodes. At first, you're taking over the group. You would expect this. You're the most physically fit. And at some point, as Margot's running, you hear this sort of mechanical noise as she's running, and she overtakes you quite fast down this like long corridor, past all these shelves, and eventually she almost like screeches to a halt near the front, opens the door, and turns to input the code. And as you do, Margot, the little keypad blinks twice, and you see a notification saying alarm disabled.
I mean, you took run like hell. Close to heart, I suppose.
I mean, I guess these shoes are more than just, you know,
Good for you.
just extendable heels. Right, let's go to the basement. And first, before we do, Margot returns to the back door
Mm-hmm.
and, like, lowers it so that it's not seen from the outside that it's open.
All right, yeah, that's fine.
And then
Anything
she
else?
starts looking around to get to the basement.
All right. So, as you look around, you don't immediately see a door that leads to the basement in the back. You go to the front, there isn't one either. You were told it's accessible from the basement of the store. You don't really see an access point.
Oh, that is strange. Mark is gonna go like by the walls and do like light tapping to hear if there's like.
Mm-hmm. Make a quick wits investigation, please. What are the others doing?
Yeah, I'd like do about the same, but
Oh
just like
my god!
looking
That's
on the
7
floor
successes.
if any of the shelves like move around.
Mm-hmm.
7 successes.
All right. Well, as Tatum and
Let's see if I can beat that.
yeah, as Tatum and
Nope.
and Rhodes basically look around, eventually Margot is tapping on the walls, and the sound is the same all over until she reaches nearby one of the storage shelves. Knocks on it, and it sounds a bit hollow.
She tries to see if there's like a switch or whether like you can pull the shelves or something like that.
Well, you don't find a switch, but looking sort of like behind the shelf, you notice that there's essentially an indentation behind the shelf,
Mhm.
and then after the shelf, or almost at the end of the shelf, there's more wall.
I understood nothing, but Margot's gonna do whatever she needs to do.
Okay, well, you pull the shelf away, and behind the
I
shelf,
see.
there's a door.
I see. I think I found it.
I suppose you did. Door closed.
Yeah, let's go.
You try the handle, it opens just fine. As you open it, you see stairs heading down. You walk down the stairs and find a small abandoned basement. Doesn't seem very interesting. Apart from this odd carpeted floor that isn't very common to see in basements because it's a bit clean. Feeling around with your feet, you eventually reach a part of the carpet that feels like it has a protrusion out. Almost like it
Yeah,
has a door there.
I've already suspected the carpet, so the carpet is coming off.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's carpeted floor. It's like you'd have to rip out.
It's not really
the
coming
floor.
off.
Yeah.
Well, there was a general store up above. I'm sure they have knives.
Well, you have knives, but yeah.
Okay, great. I have knives.
Cool. So you take one of your pocket knives. You dig into the carpeted floor, right where you feel the indentation, and essentially you end up cutting a square on the carpet. And as you feel around it, You eventually find a small indentation. You put your finger there and you begin to pull up the trap door, which reveals under it a sewer lid.
Oh. So the room has nothing else but the carpeted floor? By the way.
Nothing. It's been abandoned.
No papers, no nothing, nothing at all. It just carpet.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
That there looks mighty suspicious.
I mean, the fact that there's a carpet on top of a trapdoor, and a trapdoor that leads into a sewer entrance. Yeah, that's suspicious.
Oh well. Rose will take like one of the pistols he was given in the facility.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we?
Well, if you open the lid, it seems a bit too heavy for me.
Sure. I'll like flip the gun around, give it to her. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see that Margot holds it, you know, like you'd expect.
Yeah.
Like she's
like,
a very no. She's
Rose was
holding it.
expecting to give like a little pep talk on guns.
No, and you see that she's basically, you know, that image of the Turkish competitor in shooting.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the vibe she gives.
Alright.
She even gives it a little spin for sass.
Hail. Yeah, Rose will like do a proper squat and like push his legs because like fuck he's blowing his back again.
Yeah. So roll me stamina, please. +1 difficulty this time.
Pellets, eh?
Okay. I won't have you roll strength because you are strong enough for this. You're starting, like, you're feeling the day starting to weigh. You wish you didn't have to do this much physical labor. But, again, excitement of secret missions. Nothing like it.
Proper job.
Proper job. You pull open the lid, drag it a bit to the side, and just let it fall onto the carpet.
Mm-hmm.
And you see a ladder heading downwards.
I presume ladies not first. But you cover me. If you might.
Okay.
And he'll like climb down.
Mm-hmm. As you climb down, you notice on your wrist a small light basically shining out like this. Turns on. And you notice as you move your arm around, it always points forward for you. And as you continue heading down, you feel something coat the tips of your fingers. Not quite your hands because of the glove. Something coating your fingers. Eventually you reach the bottom.
It doesn't pleasant. It's just like dog water, basically.
It feels dry, almost like rust, but lighter. Brittle, almost.
It's fine.
What do you see down there?
Let's see.
Yeah. You look around, it looks like a regular sewer tunnel. However, right next to the ladder, there's an old staff door, probably used by the crews, like the sewer crews, when they want to go through the sewers. This one looks very, very old and out of use.
There ain't not much. Some
Margot
Sound like
starts climbing
Rush from the
down.
ladder.
Margot starts climbing down. If she has like any pocket lights or like things on her uniform that she can light up, she'll do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you do have the same type of flashlight on your wrist. You head down and you feel that thing coating all of your hand as you.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yep. Well, as you reach the bottom, you check it out, and as you do, it looks at first like rust. But I want you to roll a single die, please.
No.
Yeah, no, you can't tell what it is.
I'm just gonna like I don't know like I probably took some like I don't know baggage whatever like from the lab,
Mm-hmm.
like plastic bags and stuff. Like they might be oversized, but I'm gonna like try and like wipe it off into the bag.
Mm-hmm. Tatum, do you also go down?
Before I go down, I ask, should I keep watch up here, or are you guys okay with just us all going down?
I mean, we can all go down. Like if
Door's
anything,
apparently
we can.
closed.
Yeah, if anything, we can always like leave like another way, but you know,
What if there is no other way? That is the question.
it's the sewers. There is
It's
another
sewers.
way.
Fine. And Tatum also goes down carefully, making sure to cover the top once again.
Mm-hmm. Again, as you go down,
Just in case.
there's some substance that seems to be coating your hand.
Don't know what it is.
Well, I'll roll for you. At first it looks just like rust. Oh my god. And you can tell it's not rust. It's way too flaky to be rust. It sticks in like it sticks together in sort of like crusty layers, but it breaks apart very brittly. It
Dried
doesn't
blood,
feel
isn't it?
like it doesn't feel like rust.
It's dried blood, isn't it?
Well, you wouldn't know.
I will know.
You will know once you get to the lab.
Would I know what it is?
No,
Like I have some medicine. Eh.
not really. Not
Okay.
not in this case. So yeah, you are all in this quite empty sewer tunnel. Well, it seems operative, at least from the smell. But the only thing of interest is this really unused staff-only door.
Well, should we knock?
Whose hell's got an answer to you?
The devil?
Ain't he in Georgia?
Good job.
Oh, I heard he was in Salem now.
Yeah. Never liked the guy. But
Oh,
knocking ain't gonna hurt. Until we
Okay.
realized that the door was rigged to explode when somebody knocks.
Well, you knock at the door.
Yeah.
Well, you knock. There's no response.
Yeah, before we go in, I'm gonna be like, let me use the gear that I have. And she puts on the glasses
Mm-hmm.
and the thingy, and then
Okay.
opens the door and looks inside.
All right. You turn on the glasses. You push the door open, and the inside looks immaculate compared to the outside. It it's almost clinically clean.
Oh,
And
that's
you
not for
do
you.
see a lot of space for like equipment to be used, but the only thing left inside is a desk and a chair with nothing on it.
Huh. Margot goes in, holding like a gun at her ready, and just like looking around.
Into the room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tatum would probably put his glasses on to see if he can spot anything with it.
Are you using the visor or glasses as well?
Both, why not?
Okay. So I'm assuming you took one of the prototypes then.
Do we
Mhm.
have them fancy black lights?
So, Tatum, as you put on the prototype and turn it on, at first you glance towards Rhodes, and as you begin to turn towards the room, you feel the device on your breast pocket just. Rhodes, you basically just feel the breeze of whatever the device shot go past your face, and you hear something behind you just go ah, and scuttling in the darkness.
I'll grab the proper gun and run like a motherfucker.
After it,
Yeah.
okay.
Did I get a good look at what it was?
You didn't get to see it.
Margot
That's the
hears
thing.
Margot hears it and comes running out.
Yeah. So, Margot, you come out to see Tatum basically snapping back in the direction of Rhodes, and Rhodes fucking sprinting down this sewer tunnel with a light up gun at the ready, basically chasing something. Rhodes, I need you to roll me a, let's say, Dex Athletics to pursue this thing.
Three.
I'm gonna be pursuing Rose. He
Okay.
don't know what he's getting in. He doesn't even have the goggles.
I have a gun.
He has a gun and gumption. That's all you need.
Do I add the 2 for my feet?
Yes.
He has a gun in the
1,
dream.
2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Nah, not dream. No dream, my man.
All right. So,
Just a gun.
Rhodes, you had a head start, so you're going to basically see the shit first. As you pursue whatever was scuttling away, you hear very panicked muttering. You don't quite understand what it is or what he's saying, but eventually you start hearing immense, like, very, very faint scuttles, like skittering, echoing through the tunnel. And Margot, as you finish catching up, you just see this wave of rats rushing down the tunnel towards you.
Oh, what the fuck? She looks around. Is there like a stairs somewhere to climb up to avoid getting caught
There was
in
the
the rats?
ladder.
Somewhere.
Okay. Well, she's going running back.
All right. Margot, you begin to run back. Rhodes, what do you do?
I'm gonna leap and catch the motherfucker.
All right.
I'm gonna try to do that at least.
I need you to roll first stamina like a flat stamina roll to see if you can even do that without getting tired.
Peleche.
Because humans. So
Juan.
Jesus fucking Christ, you lucky bastard.
That was a cursed fucking roll, okay?
Oh, you
And the
lucky,
difficulty
you
is
lucky
8.
bastard. Okay.
Difficulty is 8.
Yeah. So you still feel it. You feel the
Oh, yeah.
fucking tiredness, but
I feel like shit.
you manage to push through because I guess adrenaline
rush.
Adrenaline and
rush like a
crayons is what powers the Marines.
Yes.
And as you
Even the mechanics.
Yes. As you leap to catch this guy, I need you to make a quick dex and brawl roll.
Can I
As
spend
I-
willpower?
Do I see that Mike is not following me?
Well, Tatum, are you following them?
No, I mean Mikey.
Oh,
Mikey being me.
There are two
I
mics.
ain't.
You have to specify by surname.
I only
I believe
know...
she meant me.
Yeah, because the other one is only Tatum. That's the
Yeah.
name.
Rhodes basically just fucking dived after whatever he was chasing.
What the fuck?
Past
Oh,
the
you
rats,
know what?
basically.
I have the rats. I have my own gun with me. Okay, and those are rats. I'm just gonna point at the rats and take a shot so that they scuttle away.
All right. Are you using the taser, an actual gun?
No, my own gun. My
Okay.
own gun.
All right.
I'm gonna like basically.
God bless the Second Amendment.
Yes.
So from you, I'm gonna need a dex and firearms.
I am well
Can
aware.
I spend willpower on that leap of faith?
You can, yeah. Just remember that you are humans. Willpower does not come
Humans
easy.
do get willpower back, but not very easy. I do.
Yeah. You got this shit on hard mode. If you get hurt, you get real hurt.
Yeah. I
And
know.
if you get demoralized,
Oh my God.
fucking god!
6 successes.
Fucking
Get
gross.
wrecked, Nosferatu.
Fucking gross. Okay, so first, Margot, you take a
Big
shot
human,
at the.
big human form.
So you take a shot at the
Yeah.
rats, and as soon as you take a shot, one of the rats just splatters on the ground, and the rest begin to veer off and scatter.
Okay, good.
Rhodes, as you tackle the guy, you begin to feel rats climbing up your legs and getting on your back. And as soon as
I'm gonna
one of
go-
them, hold on, as soon as one of them attempts to bite into your armor, you feel sort of like a little pinch, but it doesn't really hurt. It's more like a pressure on your leg. As soon as you feel that, you just hear a and all the rats fall dead around you.
Damn. Damn.
What happened again?
I
To
didn't
translate-
hear what I heard.
To
No, no,
translate
like,
what the fuck
microphone didn't
happened.
pick up the sound you made.
Yeah. To translate what the fuck happened, your armor just fucking tased the entire population of rats that was on you.
Okay.
And as this happens, you are basically struggling against this guy on the ground who's trying to escape your grasp.
I'm gonna grab one of our taser like things and approach to like taser guy.
All right. Just to check, Tatum, did you go after them as well?
no, they seem to be well off without the need of a third one chasing. I might as well look at the room, what was in there, what were they doing there,
Okay.
you know?
I'll ask you to make a perception investigation roll. I will roll for you, of course. In the meantime, Margot, as Rhodes is struggling with whoever he just tackled, I need you to actually make a wits and firearms roll to see if you don't hit Rhodes by accident. Difficulty
Okay.
is 5 instead of 6. But if you fail, you're gonna miss. And if you botch, Rhodes is getting tased. Just to put it out there,
Part of the preparation for Marines is getting tased on purpose.
if you botch this shit, you'll get a Kentucky Fried Roads.
I have 3 successes.
Thank God.
Nice.
Listen, bitch, I got 4 firearms.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so you pull the trigger, and the darts connect onto the target. And you immediately hear those very characteristic electrical sounds that a taser makes when it's activated. And the guy just tenses up. And Rhodes, you are free to do whatever the fuck you want.
So, does he look like he's still conscious?
Well, he has a hoodie. He's tensing up. It's really hard if he's conscious or not. It's really hard to tell.
Well, I probably have another gun, the taser gun.
He's got a gun! Get on the ground!
I got plenty.
Time for some off-brand police violence.
That is on-brand Marine violence.
Okay, so, yeah, you shoot him with a taser. I mean, you get up, he's on the ground, shaking, so you take your own taser and you tase him. And it is...
Margot looks at him.
This is
sure
abuse.
this is healthy? Are you sure this is healthy?
Nope.
Also, does it stop or do I need to stop it?
You stop it whenever the fuck you want to. That thing goes as long as you keep it on. Obviously, it has a battery, so it'll eventually stop by itself.
I turn it off.
Mm-hmm. Rhodes notably does not turn it off.
Nah, I'll turn it off as well.
Okay.
But it's probably still connected to the guy.
Yeah. And as he's shaking, and you notice him, almost, tense up and reach for the floor, trying to, resist whatever the fuck is happening and getting tased again and all of this shit happening. As his hand touches the ground, your light illuminates his hand, and it looks grotesquely monstrous. It's got claws instead of hands. It's got pustules and boils. The skin could barely be qualified as scarred skin, even. It's worse.
Margot holds up a hand.
Fucking gross.
Yeah, Margot is afraid of this being a CDC issue, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Shit, man, I think we have a CDC issue here. Looks contaminated. Do not move. Put your hands behind your back. And Margot looks to Rhodes like, how am I doing?
Motherfucker has taser in one hand, proper gun in the other hand. Oi, buddy. Just stop fucking moving. Just stop.
The guy puts his hands up, and after a moment of being frozen in place, we're going to cut to Tatum for a bit. Tatum, as you investigate the room, you notice that most of it has been stripped clean, and you smell bleach, so it was cleaned quite thoroughly of any DNA evidence there might have been left. However, as you search around, you look under the desk, and you notice there's something taped to the underside of it. It's a small chip, or a small hard drive.
I'm gonna grab the hard drive.
Mm-hmm.
If he hid it, it must be important.
As you peel the hard drive from the table, you look at it, and it's got the plastic casing on one side, but the other side, the plastic casing has been ripped off, and you see a bunch of like really odd tech like added on top of the hard drive. Like this thing is not, it's a store-bought hard drive modified to hell.
Well, shit.
As you
At least I found this.
Yep. As you examine it, we cut back to Margot and Rhodes as they point to the guy with his hands up. And both of the hands look fucking gross. Do you tell him any instructions?
Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your head.
He puts one hand and then struggles to reach with the other. It seems the deformity on his shoulder. Now that you look at it, his shoulder is kind of buckled in a weird position. Prevents him from reaching all the way back. So he just
Okay, you can.
allows his hand to just hang here.
Yeah. Did our uniforms come with any, I don't know, like handcuffs?
You have some, yeah?
Yeah, I'm gonna like still holding like the taser, you know, to press it, because that's still attached. I'm gonna go like behind him and, you know, like basically when I approach him, I'm like, turn with your back to me.
Well, he has his back pointed towards you.
Okay, right then. Lower your hands to be behind, like at the bottom.
He begins to lower his hands. Oh, we have dogs.
Gangrels attack.
Yeah, this is a Gero attack, actually. Anyway, as he begins to lower his hands, you hear him begin to cough really, really violently. And he reaches forward and covers his mouth, and you see this, like this red mist flow out every time he coughs, and you see it slipping off of his hand. It's fucking gross. And if this shit is contagious, most probably if he turns
We're
around,
doomed.
you're fucked. Do you proceed to cuff him? Nope.
She's muted.
I think it's because of the dogs, but they've
Oh.
stopped me.
Right. So basically, she looks at it, grossed out. She's like, Tatum. I ain't going near that if that shit is contagious.
A second. Sorry, my headphones died.
It's all good. It's all good. We'll just assume that Rhodes goes to get Tatum.
Yeah.
Hello.
You went to get
Yeah,
Tatum.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tatum, as you look at the hard drive, eventually you hear steps outside, and Rhodes just pokes his head in.
We got situation.
I found something as well as you guys were dealing with your situation.
Yeah, nah, our situation is kind of like your situation, sort of deal.
Okay. Let me see them.
Right that way.
And Tatum follows them.
Mm-hmm. And as you begin to approach the guy who Margot has currently a taser pointed at, he seems to still have his hands like up, but you see how grotesque his skin looks, how deformed it is, how covered in pustules and with this slimy consistency.
Tatum,
Yes.
I really think this is CBC issue. I wanted to handcuff him, but he's been coughing out blood, and I'm not sure this is
Tatum
that.
Tatum puts on a mask and some protective gloves as he goes in to check better
And
the guy,
yeah,
and
and
gives
basically
asking questions to
when
him.
he does that, Margot basically hands him the handcuffs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As Tatum is about to grab the handcuffs, he said, "Here, let's switch," and he gives him her double hard drive.
Yeah.
Margot focuses.
Okay, Margot, you can roll wits and tech.
Uh-huh.
In the meantime, Tatum, as you approach the guy, he begins coughing again. And again, you see, well, not again. You see this red mist hit his hand as he coughs, and it drips off in a very slimy consistency, almost like it should be blood by the coloring, but it isn't really. Looks more like mucus.
What have you been working down here? Whatever it is, it doesn't seem to have, well, affected you that well from the looks of it. Is it
Okay.
a biochemical or biohazard?
So as you speak, approaching him, can I ask you to roll willpower for me, please?
Please do.
Okay. Forgot that I have to roll for you. Okay. The one roll that I get well, huh? So
Nice.
as first, Margot, as you look at the drive, it doesn't just look heavily modified. This type of modification would take someone who's like really, really knowledgeable about this shit. Not just like cursory knowledge that you could get from the internet. This takes like your level of expertise to get something like this done. And Tatum.
This takes years to get to find that stage.
And Tatum, as you approach speaking, the guy turns and you see this faintly reflected the light faintly reflected from your flashlight onto his milky eyes gives almost this animalistic look. And the guy just says, "Fuck off. Go away."
Well, we would if you tell us what you have been doing here and whatever the fuck have you been messing with to leave you like that.
Just leave me alone. Otherwise you'll
You wanna
regret
get
it.
tased again? You wanna get tased again?
You don't know what you're fucking with.
Okay,
Go back to wherever you came from.
okay. How about this? You're gonna stand very still as I take some samples from you.
Yeah, we
And-
can't have that.
Yeah, Margot tases him.
Okay, you tase him. I won't have I won't have you roll for it. As
It's still
soon,
connected to him.
yeah, as
It's still
soon
connected to him.
as the taser is turned on, he drops to the ground. However, it doesn't last very long because this is that very slim taser you designed, right?
It's the
No,
first
the
one.
one I gave her.
Ah, okay, so that one has much better. Yeah, that one You can tase multiple times with it. Yeah, so immediately he drops to the ground, tensing
Take
up
your
almost
sample.
immediately.
Take your samples.
Tatum will handcuff him and start taking samples from his skin, blisters, whatever, secretions, and blood.
Mm-hmm. I will make a roll, as something will happen. Okay.
Do we take him
Don't you
in?
use your fancy, like, whatever the fuck that was.
What?
Like he had a display or something. Start
So,
giving me a fucking lecture about drinking.
as you begin to take samples, you get a skin sample, you get some secretions from one of the boils, and you take the syringe from her kit and begin to take a blood sample. As you do this, Margot, do you continue tasing him?
After a bit, I stopped.
Okay. As soon
But
as you
I
stop,
am
you
ready
begin.
to.
Yeah, that's fine.
I am ready
I
to
would
tase
assume
him any
so.
moment.
As soon as you stop, he seems to wheeze in pain, and you hear him begin sobbing and begging you to stop.
Oh, I feel so bad now.
Tatum, this
Tatum
shit is
looks
not
at
what you
her.
signed up for.
There's no need to torture the guy. I already handcuffed him.
Yeah, it's okay. Look, do you think he has those boils because of that nuclear thing? This kind of look like. I mean,
No, this is not regular radioactive sickness. This is something else. I have no idea.
As you're speaking, Tatum, can you roll me stamina, please? Oh, right, I have to roll for you. Shit. The downside of having a
That's
player
the
who
find out
can't
stage,
currently
boy.
access this shit. Let's see.
Welcome to the find out stage.
Alright, so as you speak out in defense of this poor sick man, what all of you basically see is, in a flash that shouldn't really be possible, the man rips the connectors from the taser off.
oh wait,
Elbows.
aren't his hands handcuffed behind his back?
Yeah, he breaks the handcuffs.
Oh,
He, with just sheer force, breaks the handcuffs, stands up, ripping the taser wires from his back, elbows Tatum in the jaw with enough force to knock him to the fucking ground, and vanishes from sight. And this happens in less than a quarter of a second. It should not be possible.
I turn
Hold
on the goggles again.
Hold on. And the last thing you see as he fucking vanishes is the horrifying visage that is his face. It, under no circumstances, would be this way if he was human. You turn on your goggles, and after a moment where you, turn to Tatum, then back in the direction, you feel the device shoot, and in the vast distance of the tunnel, you hear sort of a grunt, but you don't see anything. It's way too far into the tunnel for the light to shine at it.
Let's get the fuck out of here now.
Let's indeed.
Oh, that actually fucking hurt. That fucking hurt a lot.
Let's get
No
the
fucking
fuck out.
shit. Need help?
I think I'm alright.
Yeah, help him out. I'm just gonna cover our backs. Tatum, are you good enough to use the goggles to look ahead of us? I'll keep an
Sure.
eye on the back. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Tatum,
Tatum
you kind of
activates
clean some, like you pull down your mask just to clean some blood off of your lip. But you're gonna get a swollen cheek. You know that, but you seem to have all
No
your
crunch.
bones intact, at least.
I don't know about you guys, but yeah,
That's enough excitement for tonight.
definitely
That's
something
painful, really.
shady. And they haven't told us every fucking thing. What the fuck was that?
We'll see. Let's
I,
get
s-
back now.
I swear,
Let's
I swear
Let's
to
get
God,
the
if
fuck out.
let's
it has
get
anything
out
to
of
do.
here first. First, let's get out of here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's get the fuck out of here. You
I'll
look
give my
ahead, I look
Taser
back.
to Tatum.
He disappeared from sight. Do you realize that? So let's shut the fuck up and get out before more of those things like. If there's more of those things like that.
I'll give my
The
Taser to
fuck?
Tatum.
The fuck do you mean he disappeared?
Disappeared
Fucking
from
disappeared.
sight. Now shut the fuck up and let's go. I'll brief you up ahead.
Fine. And Tatum takes the lead, keeping an eye out in front of them.
Mm-hmm. And as you leave the sewers, put the shelf back on your way out, making sure you leave no trace, and leave the shop, we will end tonight's session. We will pick up back the story once you arrive to Owl's Eye to discuss your findings. Until then, we hope to see you next week here with us in the prelude for Season 3 of Beyond Armageddon. See you very soon.
See ya.